Hello and welcome to another episode of the LTA Report. This is an extra special episode because Shopify been doing awesome. It's not a fluke. We made it to finals weekend. We'll get there. The first topic is LTA playoffs. But before I start gloating, I do want to talk about specifically the team we knocked out, Team Liquid. Now, Team
Oh,
Liquid.
then that.
I mean, we got to start off with the what is it called? The funerals before celebrating those of us that are
I like
alive
that. Like that.
and well, right? Um, Team Liquid went through a lot as a team. I think they're one of the teams that put in a lot of effort, and sometimes things just don't work. And you could tell it wasn't working with Team Liquid, and they were trying with UG because Umti was just like inting it. They wanted to have all of their players. Like they actively chose. They were like, okay, we're going to bring back all five of our players. They couldn't keep Spawn, but they kept as much as they could, and it just wasn't working out. And then they face Shopify. They lose a game one where, realistically speaking, we threw our lead. With the around, I don't even think there was an objective up. It was like around Dragon. Jarvan had like a really nice flank, but I guess they didn't know Senna had flash. So he uses everything on Senna. Senna just flashes out, and then we have Rise Raw Morping into the middle of five people. We lose pretty much control from there. Fudge had an incredible series. His macro was really, really good. He didn't overgroup. We got them on very good flanks and very good timers. Azir made multiple like shuffle mistakes and whatnot. Like UG, actually I'll get to UG, but yeah, they lose a game one that realistically speaking could have gone either way. A very tense game two, where honestly, like the first time, so I watched the series about 5 times, but the first,
As you do. As you do.
hey, there were so many co-streamers that came out with videos. I was like, I gotta watch it.
Mhm.
The first couple times I watched it, I was like, man, APA should have carried games 1 and 2. Like he was like 5-1 in game 2 on Nico, and he just wasn't finding angles. And then I was just like watching APA from one of the co-streams highlights, and I was like, oh my god, Contracts is a god. It's not that APA was playing poorly, it's just that he's just getting beaten by a better player. Contracts was finding him every
Yeah.
single time. There were a couple times where he like was a minion, he got a 4-man Nico alt, but like Fudge was in a really good position. Like Contracts and Fudge really clutched this one out. And I want to give a huge shout out to Contracts. Like his Sejuani, man, he was like a raid boss Sejuani. He was constantly stopping Nico. He was like making sure that Aphelios couldn't hit, while making sure that he saved his ult for Nico, while making sure that he wasn't like taking too much damage. He just had a lot on his plate, and he delivered. Man, this guy's incredible. Game 3, obviously you guys won. Like kind of ran it down. Impact had a great Jax game, got that one kill, and then immediately started like utilizing his advantage, which is something we haven't seen too much from Impact. And then game 4, like that draft was just unplayable. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It was kind of draft gap. UG specifically. So I'll start from the top side. Impact has not been the top die. Like last split, if you play against Impact, he's going to have a huge amount of impact into the game, whether it's his roams. He had a couple roams. He had some good plays. But overall, like he didn't affect the game. Even when he had a lead, even when he was behind, he wasn't able to find ways that last split, or not last year, got him MVP. Now, does that mean he's ready to retire, or that means he should be removed? Are we going to find someone better than him? Is Zemudu like an upgrade? Like, no. Just no. This guy's very smart. As of right now, he's slumping for his standards, but he's clearly improving. We saw what he was looking like in split 1, and he's playing better. So I think give this guy some time. When it comes to Eugene, this was one of the things from last week where I'll give you the floor in a second, but this was one of the things from last week that I was talking about where I said, I prefer Contracts over either one of these junglers. Contracts is just better than Umti, and he is going to dominate UG. And like, my God, he had a target. He was like, man, I wish I could play with him. Just tell my mid laner, screw your wave. You're coming here. You're like, we're taking his Raptors. And then the second time around, he just ults him. He just ult UG because he knows he has the XP lead. He took the Scuttles and the Raptor. UG's still 5. He's 6. He ults him Jarvan ult. UG can't do anything. Has to flash out. Ghost takes his bot side. UG's like, okay, I'm not taking my red buff. I'm not taking my Raptors. I'm just going to go to my Krugs. Contracts just drops both the camps. He drops red buff. He goes, he flash ults the UG again. Got nothing, gets the kill. Like, Yuji was put under a lot of pressure because Contracts is a smart player and he knows how to take advantage if you like misstep. But the amount of missteps Yuji was making, like this guy is a challenger, like top player, and he is making mechanical mistakes. Like there was one game 2 on Zhao where you very common play on Zhao. What you do is you press Q, you hit Baron or whatever, this was on Baron. You hit something for 2 auto attacks. That preps your Q3, which knocks up the enemy, which allows you to kill him, right? He doesn't press Q, hits the Baron twice, flashes on to Palafox with his E, and then doesn't get a knockup, and then has to ult out and run, and they lose the fight. And I'm like, oh my god, there were so many plays where Yuji just like mechanically plays it so poorly. You can tell he's not confident. He just came in. I'm not blaming him. I'm not saying he sucks. I'm saying this is to be expected. This is why I thought Contracts was going to feast on him. And as a matter of fact, like if this was a more comfortable Yuji, they would have won those games. Yuji had multiple game-winning scenarios that he blew like mechanically, and so like, oh, go ahead.
Second, I was gonna say I'm glad you brought up because I genuinely you're obviously you're going to have bias, like, so you won't always be objective of how I generally watch that series thinking. Like, if I was a TL fan, I'd be upset we're not 2-0 up in this series. I'm like, because you guys weren't playing great, but they were playing garbage. like, I feel so sorry for Yuji because it's just an unwinnable situation for him. Because even though all the pressure is off of him, he's also got 2 solo laners that are absolutely sprinting it. And even when APA had like leads or like he's 5-1, like you said on the Nico, he's just not doing anything. This team feels so flat compared to what we've seen from them. Like AP is such a smart player, and that's like he makes up for his like mechanical shortcomings because I still don't think he's great in that aspect. But like we didn't see any of the side lane pressure. We didn't see any TL overloading that we've seen, and it's because I don't think they've practiced enough with UG in that regards. Like like when we played them, was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? I felt no pressure until Umpty came in, but it is clearly based on how the rest of the players went for them. That position for him was untenable. The players obviously had no trust in him, and the org like completely lost faith in him.
I heard he wasn't even at the studio.
That's what I heard too. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. But obviously, the way Spawn spoke after the game with his interview, that yeah, he's done.
Yeah,
he ain't coming back.
That's messed up. I think that's messed up. But I mean, what do I know, right?
I know lane swaps definitely hurt them, and I don't want to call them a lane swap like merchants.
Yeah, I think that's just like.
But I'm also not saying that as well, because as soon as they introduced the 6-man thing, I said this is akin to when TSM was, like when they were swapping in Grig and Acadian, and then they decided randomly for playoffs, no, we're gonna play Speaker instead. It's like,
yeah,
why are you? That was worse than this TL situation. At least they were practicing with him ahead of time, but it's kind of the same thing. Like where do they have they don't have the layers that TL were like so good at before. Like I never thought in any of the games between your series and our series that they were just ahead of us on a macro level, because they were genuinely the best macro team in the league by a billion miles. I thought they were ahead of FlyQuest. I think it's kind of funny that FlyQuest has now taken the role of the macro gods, when in comparison to them and TL, I always thought TL were the macro gods and Fly were just the punch uppers.
Yeah,
but now it's Fly are the macro gods, and C9 are the team punching up to them. But it's just flat. They need a break. I don't think they change anything. They shouldn't change anything. This split, like for the upcoming split, like who are you gonna bring in? There is no one. Like, am I APA's biggest fan? No, but you, people get really like. Have you heard the game Football Manager?
Yeah.
People play that in League where they just
They
say,
do,
"Oh,
don't they?
swap this player for that player," and then it's fine. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Um, like, can you imagine the pressure like Zamuda would be on to like immediately start for TL? Like, people are forgetting that these players need development, and they can't just you can't just plug and play them like halfway through a season and expect it to work.
Exactly.
It's not like I think Blabber is a very rare occasion of like you drop him in like mid like in an emergency crisis and he made the team better. Like I I always come back to that. I genuinely feel he ruined the minds of people, like the perception of how an academy player should be, because he came in, just dominate everyone. Like I remember we were 10th, and I remember on the dive they were saying like, "Does Cloud9 make playoffs?" And then we finished with a bye at the end of the split. It was pretty hilarious.
Yeah,
And
I
like I felt people
mean,
would. Well, I mean, that happened with Speaker, right? Like the second that he came in, he was immediately being judged to how like the other North American rookie was doing, and I feel like people were unfairly because people are gonna definitely judge UG off these like these games, even though they shouldn't. It's a bullshit scenario for him.
yeah. Here's the thing with like Yuji. He had opportunities to win the game, for sure. He didn't lose them the game. He just didn't take those opportunities to win. Which, like, you
Mm.
might be like, "Oh, isn't that the same thing?" Like, not really. He didn't like throw the game like what Umti was doing, but he also didn't like win the game when he had the opportunity to win it. I think like what you were saying. Look at the situation he's being put in. Like, this is not an easy situation. Team Liquid is a team that's like, oh, we are like first or bust. That like huge aspirations. And it's not easy. So from that aspect, like, I think you need to be more patient. I saw people being done with Surdy. I'm like, you were telling me how Surdy is better than Impact. You're just done with everybody that doesn't win. Like, what is going on? You can't. It's just
I
stupid
mean,
in my
top lane
opinion.
is just an absolute nightmare for like. I feel so sorry for any like aspiring player that is playing top lane on a garbage team. Like you can't look good. It's just an island. Like it's impossible for you to truly stand out.
Yeah.
Um, I think the problem is like, how do you even? You couldn't even PR this problem. Like, how do you even PR this as TL? Because if you just say we're in a bad spot, we're just gonna play UG now, like period. Like it's fine. Like how do you even? Because to me that like you're publicly stating that you kind of given up on the thought of winning this split. And if I was a fan, I'd be pissed off about that.
I
But
actually
that's
kind of
it's
agree
in
with
some
that.
ways like but in some ways it's still lot like you see what they like they did this weird thing of like saying oh we practice with UG for games 1 and 2 and then um bring in Umpty for like game 3. It's like what so what are you preparing for to be down 0-2 in every series? But I'm just joking at that part because they were down like when they were thinking Umpty's going to come in, but they played him. If I recall, they played him once, didn't they, in the C9 series, and that was it.
Yeah,
Did he
they
come
didn't
back
play him in
in?
Dig. They didn't play him now. Like,
Right. So it's a weird way to go. Like I, yeah. Whether like I don't know. Do you believe it when they were saying like, oh, um, we've been practicing? Because I know like some like, people have said it like behind the scenes, like that they were practicing it, but it just feels so weird to try and implement him in like a do or die situation where the guy's confidence is already on the floor. Um, Teammates have obviously stopped trusting you. Management have stopped trusting you, So how is he going to perform when the champion pool is already been absolutely ripped by both
How is he gonna
teams?
trust himself?
Right. And if he knows he's already gone anyways, why is he like what's there for him? If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does make sense. What is there for him? Just, I guess maybe UG like is so bad that you get your spot. Like that's the only other thing you can be hoping for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think that it's too early to be like, oh, UG's bad necessarily, but it's also
No,
like
we should not know. There should be no expect like this like experience should be a write off.
exactly, yeah.
Should we talk about my team?
Well, we have to talk about the team that beat them first, no?
I would say let's save Shopify for
Okay.
when we're doing the C9 Shopify, because we're gonna go over my team and then we'll go over yours.
Okay.
Man, we should have won. It's frustrating because now I see this like series as like a chore. Like you could have been in the finals, job done. You like even if you don't win the split, you're still like you have that win off your back, and like we should have won. It was even though Fly did throw themselves in game two. Well, it was such a that game was such a weird game of like we had so much control, decided to throw the game on a red buff, and then Fly threw it back to us, and then we chucked it at their Nexus. But I was completely happy with how we played that series. I think like it actually showed layers that we haven't seen in this team. Even though we chucked it in the Fly in game two, we played a comp. I like we tried to see them play the first time against Fly, got completely slapped. Is like when we play like the Lucian Milio, but like I think we team played really well, and I think that's our strength of the Fly. Is I feel like on an even footing, I feel our team fighting is actually better than this.
Interesting.
But no, but they're just so much better at like setting up the map in their favor.
Uh-huh.
Like they will punish us like no other team does. And like I generally felt like that series was on us, really. Like if we would have lost that game too, you're looking at it saying, "Well, shit, we did." But okay, I keep thinking we won that game too based on the
Game
like
state.
we should have won. Yes, but like okay, hypothetically speaking, like we won the game too, right? There is no reason why we are losing the game over going to a red buff and then getting wiped. Like you see what I mean? It's these type of things where it's unforced errors that like was a big difference in that series. Like and then in game five we just completely got out drafted. We had no answers for them. Um that was like the extra gear that should have never happened, really, because I think we should have won that series 3-1.
Well, FlyQuest could also be like, oh, we should have never lost that game. Like, we should have never threw game two. So, like, yeah, let's say that you guys get game two, you don't throw. Like, they probably still don't play the same way. You know, like I see what you're saying. Like, you had an opportunity to win that game, but at the same time, I don't think it's fair to say that FlyQuest wouldn't have adapted to losing that and throwing. I don't know whether you would have won or not. I I think you guys should have done better though. Like I predicted that you guys would win just because I thought that you guys were going to come extremely well prepared, which I thought you guys were well prepared. I thought you guys were going to find ways of like finding advantages that Cloud9 couldn't or sorry, that FlyQuest couldn't respond to. I thought the whole like I kind of like what you said. I think they play the map better, but you guys managed to find what's the word? Like positioning and like engages like team fighting better. And that's why I thought you guys were like have an advantage over them, and it didn't necessarily seem that way. Where like Blabber was not doing the greatest of engages all the time, and you guys were like struggling a little bit in games 1 and 2. Like game 3, obviously, like you guys had a lead and you ran with it. Game 4, same thing. But game 5, you could see like as soon as you guys don't have ways of engaging in the team fight, um, it got really like
I think in that game
difficult.
5, sorry, my camera's just died. Like in this game 5, we just got outdrafted. Like there's nothing else to say. I don't think like it was anything to do with like nerves or anything. I felt we completely got outdrafted. Like they just had ways of allowing Sven to never be in the game. I felt it's just their picks in general. It made it so hard for us, and like I think we should have put an emphasis on Tristana, because I think that was like as soon as they locked in, I was like, oh, we could be in trouble here. In games 1 and 2, like I agree and disagree, because like you saw the power of our team fighting when we were making these good comeback fights. Like the one where Bwupo got completely isolated by Thanatos. He just kept pressing. You keep putting his cage on Bwupo, so he could never
Yeah,
get into the fight. And then Sven was 1v3ing as Senna in the back, and like we saw the power of our comp coming online, and then Thanatos got caught in the side lane, and then they got Baron, and the game was pretty much over. But my biggest gripe with that series is like I want to see this extra layer next season, like next split even, where we seem very reactive to what Fly are doing and not being the aggressors ourselves. We seem very comfortable within our own bubble, and I think that's why people like call us such like a standard team. That works until you play a team that's willing to take you out of that comfort zone, because you saw when Bwupo played like Bwupo played this neutralizing style that he's only done really like for Thanatos, in terms of like he's gonna sack everything just to make sure that Thanatos can't play the game. And you saw when we adapted and we like targeted top lane that
yeah,
Thanatos just took over these games. Like, and it took a while for us to actually realize how to stop Whoopo, because I think Thanatos completely ran game 3 and 4. Like, there's no other top laner in the league that's beating the Nidalee like that with the Renekton. Like, apparently that's a super unplayable matchup, and he's just like bodied him on it.
he did. He put him in a body
Um,
bag. It was nice to see.
I feel bad for Thanatos, because this is not like you're not experiencing this in Korea. You're not experiencing like, okay, he should have done a better job with the feasting thing that happened in game 1, where he just kept putting down main and then Buffa would eat it.
Yeah,
The only, the only thing I'll say as a top laner main is Buffa. Yes, he was taking away the maiden, but he was also trolling because you don't get a feast stack on the maiden. So he was like really super delaying his scaling because he just wasn't getting a stack. So like he was feasting it every time, but then even Azale called it out in that game. Is like, why is he stacked so low? And it's like because he just keeps eating Maiden, who eventually was too powerful, and then Whooper was like coming into the fights at like half health. But I'm pretty happy with how we played that series overall. It showed me that FlyQuest is beatable.
it
Really showed
did.
me that they're beatable. I feel like if we would have gotten stomped, I'd feel much differently about our series coming up then, but it just reaffirms me that we're we're not. I wouldn't say we're equal, even though I feel like we should have won. It felt like we we have the opportunities to beat them.
Well, I think that what you said is true. It showed that they're beatable, and it's nice that we know that we can beat them. So thank you for showing us that. I think just before, obviously, we get into the banter, to talk about the series. I thought like it showed. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, like FlyQuest is just like so much better than y'all." You guys really showed that that's not the case. That it's like it's actually close. So that was nice to
Yeah.
see that it's not so like one sided as everybody is like making it out to be. You know. I think that was like
Yeah.
very important, even to your team to be like, "Oh, like FlyQuest is beatable." You know, I think that's important in my opinion to like show that to not just to yourself but like to everybody else, like, okay, we're you know, if things were just slightly different, we would have won this games, and then you'd be like, we'd be the ones waiting. So I do think that's important. I think like you guys showed good flexibility in terms of drafting, like for mid lane, for jungle. Like we saw Blapper play a plethora of things. Like he didn't play Mundo, you know, but like he was playing enough stuff that you felt like, oh, this, we don't have to worry about like going into game 5 fearless. And I think I even watched like the podcast afterwards with what's his name, Sven was saying like, dude, we're professional players, of course we're gonna have something like prepared, we're not gonna get banned out, you know, it's not gonna be a problem. Which you say that, but then do you really want to rely on, for example, Impact Silas? Do you really want to like rely on these specific things? Probably not, right? It's not that you can't play it, is that you just become so much worse as a player when that does happen. So it was nice to see like that as players you guys can definitely like match pound for pound regardless of what champions you guys are playing. Having said that, I'm sorry, but you guys are losing on Saturday, and I have foolproof evidence. Before I'll let you set the stage for this, but I have foolproof
If
evidence.
you bring up NRG, I'm closing the stream.
No, it has nothing to do with NRG. But I'll do that next, just because you're about to close.
Are you going to talk about Contracts' record against Blabber?
No, I didn't even think of that. It's actually very, very simple. Palafox said that he's going to be...
Oh, for fuck's sake. Oh, I'm not even at the get out of here. I ain't even...
I knew you'd react. Very emotional.
Alright, I'm going to make a statement about your player. If he win... Like, okay, I wish this was in summer, because then this point actually could slap. You could win the split, go to MSI, do well. I would still opt to kick him the next split.
Oh
If there was a good... If there was a better option... Well, obviously, it's hyperbole and everything. I don't trust this player. I wouldn't trust him with my groceries. I wouldn't trust him helping me with taxes. Like, by the way, that LTA one about taxes slapped. It looked like only one player knew what they were talking about. God bless the Chris.
Yeah.
He's a frustrating player. Because I'm someone that values a body of work rather than a good-looking face.
Uh-huh.
If that makes any sense, like...
I know what you're trying to say, yes.
Okay, this guy has now... Maybe it's a DeMonte thing, and I think it is. But... it frustrates me that I know you could win this split. Like, do the miracle run. Do okay at MSI. Come back, and then he is the 8th best mid laner in the league again in the next split, and it wouldn't surprise me. I don't like these light switch players where you just turn it on and off. And he's even admitted I think it's either recently or in like a past interview that he just gets complacent.
He doesn't try as hard.
Right. Why? You are in a privileged position where you are... I'm not... He has the tools to do well, like to be near the top. I'm not saying he's... Do I think he's like good? I think he has... When he's like on it, he has the understanding of how he should play as a player. He knows his strengths. And I think he's like similar to APA in that regards, where like he can punch up above his skill level. Which is a really good quality, by the way. Because, like, I sometimes do prefer those players to like raw mechanical skill. And you can even see in this playoffs, he's not trying to 1v9 anymore. And he's going down like 2 billion CS on like Annie, and like,
he's like, I'm Annie, I don't need CS.
like he all he needs to do is flash all, and like he's fine, right? It's like, dude, behave. Actually, you put fly at 20. That's even more
I'll explain.
cringe.
I'll explain to the comment. So if you can't see, basically, someone asked in chat, what percent do you give each team to win it all this weekend? And he said he has fly at.
Don't
This is
you
Paul
call
Green.
the great man Paul someone?
Sorry. Paul Green said he has FlyQuest at 60%. I think that's crazy. C9 at 30%. Shopify has 10%. I think the team that's coming from the bottom, from the lower bracket, is going to win. Like, I think FlyQuest need to pull out miracles in order not to lose. I think momentum is like a huge thing. Let's just say Shopify win, right? Just for a hypothetical. We will be playing our 5th best of 5 in 3 weeks. It'll be FlyQuest's 3rd best of 5 in 4 weeks. It'll be FlyQuest's 3rd best of 5 in 4 weeks. There's something about being battle tested and like consistently improving game over game, because that's something we saw. The mistakes we made against 100 Thieves, we didn't make against Team Liquid. We made different mistakes, but I'm guessing we're not going to make those same mistakes against Cloud9 if we're planning on beating them. But getting to how we're actually going to beat Cloud9, I think one of your strengths, I was talking about this earlier, is you guys have very, very good engages. You guys figure out how you want to fight, and you normally win those fights. You figure out exactly how to win, and like you figure out exactly what angle you want to go in, and when you find your angles, you win. And that was like part of the reason you almost reverse swept FlyQuest. I have seen over the past 2 games, like the past 4 games, right, against Team Liquid, a Shopify team that is playing so disciplined, which kind of reminds me of how FlyQuest managed to get their advantages against you guys. We're getting early game leads. We're not pushing the pace. We make a mistake. We figure out, okay, let's not do that. Obviously, it didn't work in game 3, but we figure out, okay, let's not do that. Let's figure out how we can move Fudge around the map and whatnot, and just like be very patient. We used to throw so much at Otacon. Now, every time we touch Otacon, we win the team fight. We used to throw so much around Baron. We had to come up with steal after steal just to beat 100 Thieves. Now we don't need any of that. We don't start Baron. We know exactly if we're turning on Baron. We keep it at 3k. We knew we were turning against Team Liquid. We didn't even hit it after 3k. We waited 5 seconds, turned, killed everybody, then came back and took Baron. We're playing much more controlled. And I know some people were like, oh, this comes from Fudge. I don't know who it comes from. But the fact that the team is able to like not take these random fights and not give angles. Like Fudge was playing he wasn't dropping waves, but he was still finding opportunities to be with the team. He was also like flanking very well. We saw how he bodied Sniper when it came to like flanking. Sniper couldn't do anything. He was marking him and beating him. He was doing the same thing with Impact. He was finding different ways. He didn't have to mark Impact. He had to figure out ways of killing Yawn. And time again, he killed Yawn. And like, no one was there to help carry. Like, you didn't have a secondary carry. Whereas when B-Boy died or Palafox died, we had Fudge. And so I just think that your strengths are things that we have worked on figuring out how to not lose to those things, which is why I actually think we have a decent shot against you guys and not against FlyQuest. I think the reason we're going to play against, like, beat FlyQuest if we make it is just like the storyline, the battle, like, testedness, the all of that, like, build up that we were so fresh and you guys and FlyQuest aren't going to be. I think they actually match up quite well. I know we always like play FlyQuest really close, even when we have no business doing so. We always find a way. But like, regardless, I think the match against Cloud9 is like extremely important, and they really should focus on it because Cloud9's strengths are not their like world-class macro. We've shown some really good macro against Team Liquid, but I don't think it's going to be a series where you're just going to get someone's going to out macro or figure, like, I don't think we're going to outdraft you guys, even though I think we're more flexible in the draft with Fudge playing everything. I just think that we can find ways of controlling your strengths, and when it comes to just the 5v5, like, raw, take away Cloud9 figuring out these amazing engages. You guys are a relatively standard team. We can beat you guys. And now you can go off.
The thing is, you're now playing a good team. Like, while I think you've definitely improved, I still saw in the first like few games, even against TL. 100 Thieves, you bitch slap them. They're a dead team. Get out the league. You're like your embarrassment. I'm joking. That's just to wind David up, but like they are a shit team. So like, and you can only beat who's in front of you, right? But you're now playing a good team, and everyone calls us a standard team. Well, guess what? We're a pretty fucking good standard team, who
That you are.
out team FlyQuest the like most of the series. Like, okay, they outdrafted us game 5. We're not gonna get outdrafted by Shopify in the sense that we're gonna be absolutely pinched. Like, and the thing is with like your biggest strength is Fudge. Unless he plays the Buffer style of going to neutralize, I don't see like where no one has been able to touch Thanatos, and even like Fudge, I've he's been with us for so many years. I know when he's trying to play mind games and like trying to catch like make people think type of way. And I know that comment about Thanatos on pros was definitely like to try and get in his head because Buffer's the only player that's been able to like even lay a finger on him. And I think maybe like I just if I feel very comfortable about this series. I like you have to respect you because if we don't play up to a decent level, we will lose. But I am very comfortable at the level of our team, and if we play to a like what I know we can, I have no like worries about this series. I think it'll be a 3-1 because we will throw a game. We will. Like, we are not a team that doesn't chuck it. It's just, I think you are getting more disciplined, but your macro and team find's still not there. And I think in split
Our
3,
macro,
no,
really?
it's
We played so well macro-wise.
yeah, but you're playing now against two teams that are better. Like, what I'm saying is, I don't think Shopify is at the level of C9 and Fly. And that doesn't mean you're a bad team, but like you're not at the level of these two teams. And I genuinely like you're a confidence team. Like, and that's always been the MO of like Palafox and contracts. And I genuinely feel you will get sucker punched in one of the first 2 games, and I think it will really take the wind out of you. I think this is where the miracle dies. It's obviously like okay, if we go down 2-0, we're going down 3-0 because then we would have felt the pressure. I know, like, it's crazy to say that considering we almost came back against FlyQuest, but
Yeah, I was about to say I don't actually think so.
no, but like, unless like we did show great mental, but do I think Lightning will strike twice in that regards? Because these players have been like that's the reason I didn't want this series is because you're creating adversity again, and this org for like a couple of years now has just had to deal with these questions from everywhere. Like, are they chokers? Like, can they? Do these players have enough to win a title? My answer is yes. Like, based on that Fly series, they're heavily beatable. And like, Shopify are gonna say the same about us. I generally just I'm pretty comfortable with. I think we will be doing the neutralizing.
So here's the thing. What happened with Thanatos in his first split? Was he playing as well as he was playing right now? I don't
No,
think
of
so.
course not. Like that was his debut.
You'll see where I'm
split,
going
to
with
be
this.
fair.
You'll see where I'm going with this. What happened to Loki in his first split? Was he playing nearly as good as he's playing right now? No, not really. When I asked, I asked what's his name? I asked your head coach, Reaperd, why that was. Like what was different that now we see like Thanatos playing so much better and we see Loki, playing much better. You know what he said?
Why does David always? I swear he's got like 100 Thieves like notification tab because second I say him,
I didn't even notice David was here.
Halifax is gonna run around. Oh my gosh, what is this?
Go back to my train of thought though. What do you? I don't know if you remember, but basically what he said was, yeah, they were nervous. It was taking them time to get accustomed. New country, different environment. You know who's uncomfortable? Oh wow! I just realized there's a chair in the background. You know who's uncomfortable with like stakes moments? Like pressure is on. You're at finals weekend. The vibe is different. I know it's still in the studio, which might be a little bit of a buff to these players. But Thanatos and Loki, like, they're going to feel the pressure. You know who's not going to? Fudge. You know who's not going to? Contracts and Palafox. You know who's not going to? Bvoy and Seus. You know who's not going to as well on your team? Like the other three players, right? My point is, like, I can see a world where Loki does not outshine Palafox. And I'm sorry, but if Loki does not play like he did throughout the split, Blabber is kind of nerfed. What unleashed Blabber was the fact that Loki was playing very well towards him. And I can see the lights getting very bright. All of a sudden, your hands are sweaty when you're playing. You're nervous. You're not doing the same things. You're playing a little bit more careful. Blabber tries to go over and bait. You're like, no. But Blabber doesn't care because he's used to you following up. All of a sudden, he looks like he's inting. Things can really, like, when the pressure is on, this is when the pressure is really on. And you can imagine, for Shopify, dude, we are so chilling. We are playing the vibes. You can tell the vibes are amazing. Like, you have Revan just playing the guitar. If you watch, like, the... or behind the scenes, he's just like yelling and screaming and just like having the time of his life. You can tell he looks so much more uplifted than like the depressed split one. And then you look at Cloud9 and you're like, they haven't been to a final since 2023. And to them, that's like illegal. They were making the final every single year since they joined. Since LCS was a thing, they were at finals at least once. Forget winning, they were always making the finals every single year. And now not only did they not make it, now you're playing on a big stage, you have these nerves, you lose game one, all of a sudden you're like, oh, what's going on? Game two, you come with a counter pick, super close game, like your hands start getting sweaty, all of a sudden, normally you would have won that game, you chuck that lead, you're down 0-2. Like, I can easily see a world where the pressure is all on Cloud9. It's all on Cloud9. Let's be realistic. There's no pressure on us. If we lose 0-3, you'd be like, oh, dude, we made it so far. If you guys lose a 3-2, you'd be like, oh my god, what's wrong with this team?
I will say, every time Xenon and I've had to answer the call this playoffs, they have. Because everyone, and there is people in your chats that predicted a Team Liquid 3-0. And like Team Liquid 3-0, yeah? The same Team Liquid that is
out of playoffs.
may not even be top 4 next split. 3-0 them. Bitch slap, get out. We were then told we were going to get 3-0'd. Like, you saw that prediction box. Yes, we may not have. Like, we were told, like, we don't have what it takes to rise up to the challenge against FlyQuest. Should have beaten them. Yes, we lost, but we easily proved that we can play up to their level, and they're beatable. Now, a third challenge. Everyone wants Shopify to do this. I disagree that the pressure is all on C9 because it's starting to say, because look at every tile, every video, like everyone is saying Shopify Miracle Run. No one is talking about us. The only time they're going to talk about us is if we lose. Like, I think the pressure is equally on you guys because you are now at the table. Like, you've pulled the sea open. Are you going to sit at the table with us and FlyQuest, or like you're going to get that door slammed in your face? Like, I think the pressure is equally on these players, and we will see if, like, I mean, as much as you could say Fudge doesn't feel like is up to the pressure, this guy fucking lost to Dokler in that finals. Like,
yeah, but like,
and then
we
went
were
on
saying,
to have
like, Fudge is not playing like he used to. Like, this is a very different Fudge, right? Like, different time, different place.
I think, yeah, like he has started to find himself again, which I am very happy about. But that's for another time. So we have answered the call, like this split, like we have a lot of mental resolve from the FlyQuest series. I didn't think, like, yes, I was very tilted when we were down 2-0 because, yeah, I haven't seen these players like answer the call in a while. Like, split 1 should have beaten TL in the playoffs. And like, maybe if that's the best of 5, that series is different, but it wasn't. Format sucks, whatever. But like, I'm happy at the level my team is.
So
And
I will give you that. I actually predicted that you guys would beat FlyQuest. I thought you guys were gonna. I thought it was gonna be close, but I thought you would win. I said you guys were gonna 3-0 Team Liquid. I know I've like said this so many times, but like there's a reason I said that. I legitimately thought it wasn't gonna be close. Like it was gonna be close, but it wasn't as close as like it was definitely your favorite. But I just think the situation is different. Like you're comparing apples and oranges, and you're like, well, when it was apples, everybody said we were gonna lose, and now it's oranges, so we're still gonna win. And it's like, no, it's very different. I think these are just different situations. So that's why I think that it's not necessarily the perfect comparison. What you versus Team Liquid. I think most people are still saying we're gonna lose. I think people are like, oh, it'd be amazing if Shopify.
they should like no offense to Shopify. People should be saying you're gonna lose. Because we are still the better team. And like, yes, if you beat us, that narrative can start to change. But until that happens, like,
So
I don't want to
like why. It's not just
I
because
know,
we beat
like,
Team Liquid.
I know, player for player comparisons are never good, but there isn't a single Shopify player I would replace with our player. Like, I wouldn't take a single Shopify player and put him in my team.
And that's fair.
Not a single one.
That's fair.
Like,
the whole thing is that we have this like greater than the sum of our parts. Like our players might not be top 1 in all their roles or top 2, like or top 2, right? We might be all third pro all team or not even on the all pro all team, like our mid laner, for example. But at the end of the day, like we are punching above our weight and we're clearly improving. The thing is like Fudge improved, Contract's playing amazing, Palafox is starting to play better. Our bot lane, like last week we had an amazing Lucian Nami game, Lucian Melio. This time we didn't have a great Lucian game, but we're still playing better than before. Like we are clearly leveling up every step of the way. And the thing is, like, if we played like we played against Team Liquid, against C9, we're not going to win. But the thing is, like, we have consistently been leveling up. And I don't know if anybody's getting FlyQuest scrims, but I can guarantee if FlyQuest is scrimming one of us, it's not going to be you guys. They're going to be scrimming us. So that's all I'm saying.
I don't think anyone is getting those scrims, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
based on what we've heard, but like, it's a lame like analysis. But I will like go there, like player for player. It's hard to see a world where like this is one of the reasons it's in some ways dumb that we're just sitting here saying, oh, my team's better. Of course, we're going to both say our teams are better. And there's no, like, analytical thought to any of the things we're saying. It's just, like, oh, who can handle the pressure? How the fuck do we know? Like,
based on history, right? You can look at how Fudge played when I look at this.
I look at this split. I look at this split because
Loki was like the first 3 games he was nervous, and I asked like Reaper, and he was like, yeah. I asked Loki, I was like, yeah, I was a bit nervous, but now I'm not. And like, okay, well, when he's in a new environment, he could be nervous. Guess what? He could easily be nervous in finals. Like, it's not unreasonable to say that.
the thing is, like, Loki's been playing so well. And I'm so glad he's now starting to get his flowers. Fuck every one of those mid laners that on pros were putting him not even top 4. Like,
no, they were putting him 4th, no?
Like 4th or 5th. But like,
yeah,
people were having fucking APA in their all pro.
I know,
with this
that was
year,
ridiculous.
Like, get in the bin.
Let me ask you a question. In 2024, you had Thanatos, you had Blabber, you had Jojo, you had Sven, you had Vulcan. And then 100 Thieves, a team of 100 Thieves.
Oh, we had Berserker.
Oh, that's right, you had Berserker. That's right. And then you had 100 Thieves, who had Tomo and Ayla. I would assume you would say, player for player, Berserker, Vulcan were better, right?
The difference is, we had mental boomed by that before the series even started.
Yeah,
like,
but
and that was evident. That.
Actually, we kind of heard the scrims. Okay, yeah, we kind of heard.
Like, we actually, like, we heard, like, going into that series that we were pretty checked out. I'm not discrediting 100 Thieves as the thing before David gets upset. I'm just saying, like, we were checked, like, we were mental boomed.
My point is sometimes when the players are all better than the enemy team players, you can still lose. That's all I'm saying.
You can, but you're not in this time.
That's
I
fair.
mean, like,
I think
okay,
it's gonna
can
be
we
3-2
like,
Shopify. That's what I'm gonna say. And then we're gonna 3-1 FlyQuest. I think whoever wins is gonna 3-1 FlyQuest. I have no faith in FlyQuest winning, by the way.
I think if you go up, I think you lose. I think if we go
What?
up, we win. I kind of like. I was listening to David on crossover. I shut up, David.
I saw that. Yeah.
Um, I think it'd be a bridge to like it's. Actually, you know what? I'll say this before. Why the fuck could we not have had 5 good teams? Why is it that when Shopify actually starts to get it together, you have 2 teams that are completely on fire? Like we had going into this split, like a really nice like you had TL Fly, and then you had 100 C9. We've elevated like pretty well. I think our development's been really nice, and
I agree.
like I'll speak about it more in the JoJo section. But like I wouldn't take last year's roster over this. Like not even talking about results. Like based on like hindsight's obviously like impacted my like thing there, but just the way we play is so much nicer, and also we have coaching stuff, which actually helps.
Yeah.
But it's just so annoying that as soon as Shopify are like half decent, they like 2 teams are completely just dead.
Mental boom. Yeah.
Yeah, like not even like because I don't want to discredit your wins, but it's also like I wanted to see these teams actually make Shopify kind of work for it, but you just destroyed them both.
Here's
And
the
like
nice
that's why
thing.
some I think are saying that like this is your first test. I know you played FlyQuest already, but like in terms of this lower bracket run, this is your first real test to see where you actually are as a team.
Here's the nice thing. We have been ramping. Like that's the other thing. You guys have improved since the beginning of the split. So have FlyQuest. So have we. I think that's like a very big important like caveat. The fact that we are also improving. And Team Liquid didn't really improve. They improved a bit, but they didn't improve enough. Same thing with like 100 Thieves. 100 Thieves didn't honestly they didn't even improve. What am I saying? So like
No joke.
I'm not gonna you say that, not me. David's going after you, not me.
I mean, me and David already had this conversation. Like, as soon as I'm done with like my publications, I was going to be completely like shameless.
I can tell, man. You're
But
really enjoying it. No, but like on a serious
free
note,
man, free man.
what's up?
I said I'm a free man.
You're a free man, yeah. I do think that it's more that the thing that is happening is given a lot of time to like consistently improve, and that's one thing that like I really want to hone in on is that yes, we played teams that were playing below their level that we've seen from last split, for example, but that doesn't change the fact that we are consistently leveling up as well, and that's what I worry for you guys is that we have consistently been leveling up, and it can get to a point where we leveled up beyond you guys. And maybe if we met you like instead of FlyQuest, we would have gone 3-0'd as well. And maybe if we played you instead of Team Liquid, we would have gone 3-0'd. But the fact that we had that extra week of practice and play is what makes me confident in saying we're consistently improving. I can see a world where we keep improving and we actually beat you guys. That's predicated on the fact that we improve. If we just like go in and look like how we looked at against Team Liquid, I don't think we win. But I've seen enough from my team that I think we have the capability of winning and consistently improving to the point that this time we win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, like I don't disagree, but I also feel like we've improved at each stage as well. Like I genuinely saw layers in the FlyQuest series that I didn't think we had, and I think that's nice to see. And that's the direction I'm looking for next split. Is like, I don't want to say like cheese picks, but you need to show that you are actively thinking about your opponents and how you're going to shut the game down, not, oh, if we just play it. Because I think that's definitely been a blabber mentality for like, or maybe beyond blabber, but it feels like, oh, if we just play our game, we win.
Uh-huh.
And FlyQuest is more, how are we stopping our opponents from winning? And like, it's tough because I want to see us expand a little more. I think Vulcan is the only player, or the main player I'm looking at for that is Vulcan, because he really struggles on anything that's not hard engage.
I don't know. I thought his Milio was fine.
But he needs to do it throughout. Like, I have a problem when people start busting this out like straight when playoff comes, because you saw like Thanatos was uncomfortable against Cho'Gath. We haven't seen him as his Yorick this entire split, by the way. Like, everyone was playing Yorick,
Yeah,
but he was just
yeah.
like, I don't like first timing in playoffs because it can go 50-50.
But you have to. Like, or else you're just gonna be too predictable, right?
Sure. Like, the problem is, like, we definitely, and I think it kind of was let slip on like either broadcast or in the episode, that we tried to play that game one to take FlyQuest champions away,
Yeah, I noticed.
and we knew that we were giving them Cassio, and like we knew they was gonna pick it, but we didn't play that game properly. Um, I guess the thing I'm thinking of, like, if I'm thinking about like my team for a second, where the narrative goes if we lose, because on one hand, the improvement split on split has been really nice.
Mm-hmm.
But then if you lose, like, okay, I'm not crying if we lose out on the Esports World Cup. Like, I'll know. But then you lose your opportunity to qualify for another international event. So
Yeah.
that's another split where you're not like in split one. I don't know if we beat 100 Thieves. Like, I think that split was so wonky that I think it was a coin flip if between the two teams. But um, like, does the pressure start to mount on the veteran players we have? And in my opinion, it shouldn't for Blabber, even though people are going to push it more on him than I think the bot lane. I worry about the narrative rather than the development of the team, like for summer, right?
Uh-huh.
Because I don't want to blow it up if we lose. But the thing, okay, do you think if we lose to Shopify, like take your Shopify bias out of it, do you think a head needs to roll if they lose again?
Definitely not.
Like, I mean, like in terms of like either like coaches, either like the head coach looking at Reaper.
I think you're doing a disservice to your players if you do that. Like, give them the
That's the
consistency of
problem.
something, man.
Yeah, the problem. It's such a tricky one to think about because in some ways it's more a formatting problem than like um because there's only like one slot, right, for like MSI
Yeah.
first stand.
I think that's a bigger problem to be. You're right.
It's so it's like, but it's compounded by how bad 2024 was. So then the pressure really starts to mount up on, like, okay, you are going potentially like another year without making a finals, when for every single split, or every single year, sorry, you have made it to a finals. And you're sitting back like, and you're laying like a team like, laying a team like Shopify, who's not invested anywhere near as much in their roster as us. Like, coaches either. Like, they brought in DeMonte now, but like they in some ways tanked the split. Whether because like the sales thing was unfortunate, but like they've in like half a split, because it wasn't even a full split. Like, I thought the first half of the split you're pretty dog shit,
I agree. Yeah.
and like you ramped up so quickly, and to then take a spot from us in finals would really sting, considering how like consistent we've been. Even in playoffs, I think it's nice to see us be competitive again and get to these latter stages rather than lose to the good team and then like choke. I don't think they did. Like, I'll just reading like in chat. I don't think they should make a roster change. It's just, how do you control like the chaos that's about to like come if they lose again, right? That's what I'm like trying to think of.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Like, it gets real bad if you do lose.
Because how do you trust them? How do you trust this team? And it's a problem when you have like a rookie in Loki who really good. And like, yes, Thanatos is an insanely skilled player. He's still young, and like he's like this is his first full year as a tier 1 player. It's like, but the results, like, you're on an org that demands results, and you have a fan base that is scratching to have any form of like a LAN appearance, because it's not just like League, by the way. Like, I've said about this on our episode with David, it's like we're starting to go now lengthy times without doing anything in any of our games, and League has always been like our crutch.
Yeah, then I don't know what you do.
Like, that's the thing. Like, it's such a hard like discussion to have.
I think, like, as a program, if I was a program director at for League of Legends, I would say, hey, look, the goal for this roster is we want to make Worlds in 2026. We want to make one international event this year at minimum, and we want to make Worlds. Like, that is like not negotiable. Worlds is in North America. Like, there are so many reasons to make Worlds in 2026. That's like what I would do, just because we lost so many spots. But again, I'm not Cloud9. Cloud9 would be like, we want to make 2 international events every year. And then if you don't make it this year, like, you're already kind of screwed. Like, I don't know how you, like, what do you say to your teammates if like you lose in third, you go third twice in a row, and you're like, oh, you're not good enough to be on Cloud9. You're like, what more do you like? We're trying our best here. We're still growing. Like, it's not like
Problem
we
is,
reached a ceiling. We're consistently improving.
yeah, and like for me, I would, the players and coaches need a better philosophy, even if we're improving like split on split, because I feel like we're the reactors, like, in a lot of like, it seems like FlyQuest gets to us, and you can tell that by the way the players speak about it, the coaches speak about it. You can tell like FlyQuests are in their heads. Like, have you felt like have you seen Cars?
Yeah. The movie?
Have you seen the last one, like Cars 3?
A long time ago. I honestly don't remember much of it.
I don't know if you remember the Lightning McQueen like scene where like he can't keep up with this younger like
Yeah. I know what you're
car,
talking
and
about.
then he pushes himself so hard that like he just burns out.
Uh-huh.
It feels like we're pushing so hard to like react to what FlyQuest are doing when we should be the ones thinking about um how to beat like how we as a team should be beating them, not how do we react to stopping them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know that FlyQuests are in your head, honestly. Like I don't get that vibe from the players, but it could be a thing. I feel like you guys are fine. Like sure you lost to them a couple times, but like I mean, losing is part of competing, no?
Yeah. Like I'm pretty confident we're gonna win, but I don't want to think about what happens if we lose.
Yeah, don't think
Because
about
I
that.
no, it's just like, what do you do? Like the community is going to absolutely grill us. And you can say that okay, we're developing. To me, we have to beat you on Saturday. I think there's no excuse, like no exceptions.
Oh, no exceptions, damn.
No, but we are the second best team. Like we should be making finals. Like I can take losing if we lose in finals
But at
because
least get
we would
there.
have we would have met the expectations. It's a terrible land to be at, but you still qualified for the World Cup, whatever. You still will have some experience leaving, like playing outside of NA, like for this roster. Um, what the fuck? I
What?
need a motorcycle, bro. Is
Oh,
that
yeah,
on
just
your
ignore
chat?
him. I don't know what that is. I just don't take him seriously, I guess.
Um, the expectations finals, and I don't want to even think about how I would feel if we don't make it there.
Oh, you'll find out next week. Or this weekend, actually.
Mm.
Okay, maybe that was a little too much, huh?
No, I just like the more I think about it, I'm not worried about the series. I'm worried about the implications. If that makes any sense.
Yeah,
Like
you're not worried about losing,
I'm
you're worried about what would happen if you lost. Which is like
yeah, like
kind of
it's
similar.
literally that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried about oh we lost to Shopify. Well, okay, in some ways yes, we lost to Shopify. I can't deal with losing to Palafox actually. I genuinely can't. He genuinely annoys me as a player.
I can't wait till you lose to Pal Fox. It's gonna be amazing.
I hope we free her. Like I will be unleashed if we free her. I will be shameless. Not to you, because we don't banter the same way like David and I really like try and get in each other's heads.
I know what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, look, I'm gonna be not the kindest if we do beat you guys, so you know it goes both ways, right?
Dude, you're fucking shameless. I said it to you in a text the other day. You were so shameless wearing a Shopify jersey in your APA interview. I was like, that guy is wild.
It's just because I know APA well enough, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that with like every player. Like I'm not going to Worlds and lose like, you know, yeah. It's just because I know him well enough.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I am shameless. Uh, what can I say?
Dude, the spot's going off.
Oh, he lives in Myanmar, man. He needs a what is a motorcycle? Whatever. Um, do you guys?
All the
What do you
press
think
buttons
happens
say
when you guys
9.
win? Like, let's just pretend. that you guys win and beat us, what happens then?
I haven't thought that far. I
Yeah,
think okay.
win first, I guess. Makes sense.
I would like to think. I would like to think we win, but I'm unsure on like the stamina of our team. Like that hasn't been tested yet. Like we've had one 5-game series. We haven't played a lot of games. We have not played a lot of games.
That is true.
Like we had a
Yeah.
3-0. Like we don't. Yeah. Like we're not battle tested the same way. Even Fly's technically not, but played the same amount of games. So
Well, I think you guys will end up playing more if you do make it to finals, right? Because you'll have played one extra series. The
yeah, of
question is,
course.
that series like make up for everything? Like, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Okay, I genuinely believe that FlyQuest is preparing for us.
I mean, I can see it.
Like, and that's not even like I'm not even trying to disrespect. I think
I don't think there's any
FlyQuest knows
disrespecting
what
it.
they have in the tank to beat you guys if you get to a final. I don't think they're not gonna think you're gonna pull out anything different, but the like we've played each other so much. Apparently, Cena and Fly is like the biggest like scrim partners. So like these two teams are like well versed, and I'm curious if Fly are altering their strats so they ensure that it's a 3-0 instead of almost getting reverse swept. Because I don't think there's like anything that Shopify is going to do that would surprise. Do they have like that extra gear in the draft? I don't know. The only thing actually I'd say on the C9 series for you guys is if I just never getting his most played champion, and that's Rumble, because that was banned the entire series against FlyQuest, and I don't see Fudge getting that at all.
Wait, we banned it against FlyQuest? Is that what you're saying?
No, in like C9 versus Fly, Bwipo
Oh,
never got Rumble that entire like that champion was banned every single game.
yeah.
If I just most played is Rumble, I don't see him getting that champion ever.
I don't think we need Rumble.
I mean, if Fudge tries
Like
to play
Fudge has
Jace,
Yorick. He plays the
I
Scion, Renekton. Like he's played the what's his name?
the one thing like Fudge is like obviously gotten back into form. I worry about anyone trying to play standard into Thanatos. I genuinely like he's every single top lane has just been bitch slapped whenever they've played like a standard lane, and he's only been neutralized when Bwipo did like his specific strats against him, right?
Uh huh.
Or like, and even if the champions are the same, it's how he was neutralizing and like sacking waves and ensuring that Thanatos could never really leave lane as well. Um,
Fudge Fiora. I don't know about that. I just
dude,
think that we have the tools to match up to you guys. It's not even like I think we have the tools to match up to anybody, which is
you
not
have the
something I
I
would say at the
think you
beginning of
have
the
the
split.
I think you have the confidence, and that's a big bless you. You
Thank
had
you.
like gameplay wise, no, but like, I think you have like confidence is a big thing, and the one thing I will give like Palafox and contracts is they will step on your throat when they're feeling confident, and they will make sure that we can't breathe if they can get ahead. That and that's like a big if, right? Because our early games have been pretty solid, and only FlyQuest has like truly exposed us in that department. And even then, it was like a couple hundred, couple hundred to 200-300 gold at most.
Yeah.
Um, Like our macro's been fine outside of game 2. Where was the Gwen game?
Gwen was game 2 because it was Gwen versus Set, so it was game 2.
Right. It annoys me because like Set got the hype, but Thanos was actually winning that match until we lane assigned him out into Callista Renata, and he was down like fucking 30 CS on him.
Well, he did get a huge gank, so I don't know. That's not like 100% fair. Thanatos was losing
He was
until he got
doing
that gank.
true, but what I mean is like the state was good for him though. And then we swapped him out into their bot lane, left him there for 5 minutes, and was down like an absurd amount. He was down like almost 3 levels because we kept him in a losing matchup for that long when he was winning, even if it was by help. So he's still winning. So I'm worried about the implications if we lose, not worried about the actual team we're playing. I feel like if we play up to our level, we're gonna win.
I don't know about that. I wouldn't be so confident if I were you.
It's like if you look at it from like a power level like type deal, you're going up, but so are we, and it's like so. I like that's why I'm so confident that if we got slammed by FlyQuest, I can understand a lot of people now shifting that gear towards you guys because you played them close in the games.
Uh-huh.
The thing is, you didn't win a game though. Like,
Yeah,
and I
but
know
we
it's
fixed a
like
lot
can't
of the issues that we had.
sure, but I think you could have played the 100 Thieves series 4v5 and you still would have won. I think like sub you and you were winning that series. Just play fucking Jarvan. You'll be absolutely fine.
I actually
Jarvan
think
and
you're
Briar and
like
you win.
no, dude. I think you're underestimating like the resilience of FlyQuest. I don't think it was. I think there are only 2 teams in the league that would stop us from that situation. I think you guys, and I think FlyQuest, and I think we fixed a lot of those issues. So I don't think we're going to be making the same mistakes. That's how I'm feeling right
I
now.
I think you're gonna be punished more for like things that TL and 100 Thieves were not in a position to do.
I think so too, but I also think we're not going to make certain mistakes that we did last time.
I think neither do we. Like the genuine problem I have is top lane, and I'm not even like because I've still yet to see a top laner this year truly put their hands on Thanatos outside of Bwipo's neutralizing like strategy. And until like we start seeing like Bwipo gave a blueprint, I just don't think Fudge is the player that's going to execute that style within like a week of because any of the top laners he's facing in scrims, I promise you that's not how those lanes are feeling as soon as you go as soon as you go on the rift against him.
Yeah, I think this series is wide open for the taking. That's how I'm feeling right now. If I'm FlyQuest, I might just prepare my own stuff.
How's it Cope thinking C9 are leagues ahead? We should have fucking beat them. Like
I don't think we're leagues away from FlyQuest either.
I've beat us and I agree. Like I don't unless this is a 5 game series, which I don't think it will. I'm predicting 3-1, 3-0. Like I understand, but maybe like of course both of us are gonna have bias. It's just the body of our work this entire split. And like the adversity we faced the adversity and came out absolutely fine. Even in our loss, people were now giving us that respect that wasn't there before. People were predicting 3-0s for TL, a lot of people. The desk was if I remember, pretty one sided as well. Because of, like the whole spawn buff crap.
Yeah, that's just stupid.
And then people saying, "Well, Flycos is going to 3-0 us because like we're not championship material, and we proved we can compete against them. Like, if we lose, I will be the first person on our next podcast to say I apologize. Like, if
Okay,
I
I'm
ain't
looking
doing
forward to the
bets, I ain't
apology.
you and David. Like, I mean, it ain't gonna happen. But like, I
Ain't
will be
gonna
the first
happen,
person
sure,
to come on
buddy.
here. Like, I just don't see where we lose unless we mental. Okay, it's the unknown. Unless we've somehow mental boomed from this Flight Quest series, which I don't think we have.
I don't think so. I don't think it's mentable. I legitimately, I mean, I think we've been talking around it for a while now, but we do have other topics. I legit think that we can level up. And it doesn't have to be you guys underperforming, which is exciting as a Shopify fan to hear. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah. We will agree to disagree,
Haha.
but I'm looking forward to the series.
All right. You want to kick us off with the LTA response? So I'll kind of set the stage a little bit.
Dude, I actually forgot. We actually were speaking for so long, I forgot we had that topic.
We had a bunch of more topics. Yeah, I know.
Oh my gosh.
So just real quick, the LTA put out a response to the fan sentiment and to Travis Schafford's video of like, look guys, HBO is going back to HBO Max. It's not called like Max One or whatever the weird ass name they had. Why don't we just do that for the LTA as well? Go back to the LCS. It's not going to solve all your problems, which he says in the video. And every single person who says it's not going to solve everything, but it'll give us something to do. And basically, he came out with a response that is like one of the worst PR answers. Like, just don't say anything at that point. Actually, no, say something. I think it was still better than saying nothing, but it was like, I'm not here to argue whether the changing the name is the right thing to do or not, and whether it was a failure or not. It's like that. Then you're not responding to the comments. If you're not here to talk about the comments, what are you here to talk about?
Yeah. So, like, this was in a interview with one of our good friends, one of my good friends, Chilia from many multiple like our publications, like previously esports. Well, not previously, maybe she's still there, I don't know. But esports inside done stuff for I'm I'm blanking on the name. One that she did for the world's like cinematic. It's a really high up one. I'm blanking on the name, but anyways,
Esports
like
Insider?
no, I already said these. What is it called?
I don't know which one you're referring to.
Anyways, I'll remember it later. So she did an interview with Now I'm blanking on the name.
The guy's name or who?
Yeah,
Oh,
Atunas.
Carlos.
Yeah, and the responses were shocking, man. Like, I don't know which
Shockingly
area
bad,
of
just
the
so
interview you
everyone
want to.
knows we're on the same page.
Yeah, like where I don't know which part of the interview you want to start with, but the one that really, really griped me was the rivalry between LTA North and South. When, like, good friend David put on Twitter the other day, this entire year, providing like results go as expected, we would have had 6 days worth of games between NA and Brazil. So, like, and you did it at the start of the year. Rolling Stone, that was it. Thank you. Like, they're doing it at the start of the split. The format's terrible, so you only got like the best of threes. Like, single bracket, and now you're doing it at the end where one of the teams just automatically just gets to go to the final weekend after losing to whoever the first seed is from NA. And then the other teams are probably going to lose as well.
Yeah.
I just don't see where there's just been this big emphasis to have like cross reference, cross conference games. Like there's no rivalry. There's no there's no mention of them on broadcast. How many times have you actually seen the broadcast? And you don't even get to see the LTA South games while the LTA North games are the countdowns going on.
Uh-huh.
I would you don't even get that advertisement. It's like the leagues don't even exist. It's like they don't want to mention Brazil. It's like I'm in some time warp. It's like we have our regular season, and then randomly out of nowhere, 3 Brazilian teams pop up, and it's like, oh, we have a playoffs with them, and there's no talk about them at all. There's no encouragement to watch the other league. There's no there's no check-in. Imagine at the start, in the the countdowns, but the pre-LTA day lobby thing that they do.
Uh-huh.
They don't even do oh, here's a quick literally 30 seconds on what's going on in LTA Seoul. They don't show the brackets, they don't show the league table, they don't show what's gone on in these other teams. It's just a joke.
I think
That's
so
just
much
one
of it is a
part.
joke. Yeah, that's just one part. I know that was my next point. It was like, there's just so much of it is just a joke. I actually want to start from the beginning where he was saying that these type of things take time. These rebrands take time. Dude, rebrands don't work just because you wait. It's not like it's gonna magically change. You know what actually takes? Time and effort. You can't cut the budgets, make it so that people cannot see your new league. You didn't do events. HBO is making this whole big thing. We're back to HBO Max. You guys did very little. And then here's the thing, it could have been so easy for you to go to pro players who stopped playing, I Will Dominate and Turtle and all these professional players, and ask them what was your favorite LCS moment, and then at the end goodbye LCS, onto newer things, and made it so don't announce LTA, but we know that something new is coming, and just play it up, hype it up, do something. You did nothing. You did very little. That's not true. They did stuff. It's just it was one video and a few tweets and posts, but it wasn't
To me,
enough.
that's nothing.
Yeah,
To
it
me, that's
wasn't
nothing.
enough. And the problem we're having is not that we don't understand that these things take time. Of course they take time. But when you are doing it in such a poor manner, of course we're going to feel like this is not what we're looking for. Of course we're going to complain. You think we're complaining because it's fun to complain? No, it's because you've actively done things that are just not the way we expect you to do things. And so we're going to complain. And then you think that just because we're complaining, we don't understand, or there's so much more involved. I understand it's a new product. I understand it's so much different. We have intercontinent play, the teams that are working on different, the format is completely different. Of course it's a new format. Of course there's new stuff. Guess what? The LCS used to be 27 games. Then it was one long season. Then it was 3, you changed a lot with the LCS as well. And that's okay. You can change a lot. We're not saying you can't, but we are saying that it was wrong. And then you're like, oh, but so I'm not here to say to argue whether it was right or wrong. Then you're not here. That's the whole thing. You say we're responding to ABC, and then you don't respond to ABC. The hell are you doing?
I think it's Cloud. Is they said the emphasis is to modernize formats. That's a lie. We were going to have 14 games of best of ones for a regular season into a playoffs.
It's just
That is a lie.
God that
That
didn't
is
happen.
that is a watered down version of what we've seen in the LCS for years. It was
Less
unless
venue
teams didn't
events, less
intervene.
everything.
I would understand if they marketed this thing to hell and it still didn't work. You could maybe have some leeway, but you haven't done anything. There's been no marketing. There's been no push from any team. That you're lobbing us in with a league that one doesn't want us. So you've lost the Brazilian viewership. you're taking away slots from NA. And even like if people say, "Oh, NA doesn't deserve a slot," Brazil doesn't deserve them over our slots. That's our
Exactly.
slots to lose, not theirs to take. Like, let us underperform to the point where we're getting slots taken away. Not Brazil has to because they can't win it themselves if they had to compete with us. Like, there is no, like, we've seen over a decade's worth of competition of NA in Brazil. There is no way they're treating us as equals. It shouldn't be. And like, I think David made a good point. Why not just find a way to have like two, like, because this happened in the Esports World Cup. They're having two for NA and one for Brazil. Give us like, it's criminal. Like, let's say C9 do make finals, yeah. It is criminal from a narrative point of view. The thing that Riot is really trying to push, that you have two of the best teams you've had in a very long time. And a rivalry is actually forming between these two teams. One of these teams isn't going.
Yeah, it is criminal. You're right. It is.
And then you're only seeing them in an esports World Cup where you're not like NA fans aren't watching. And outside of the diehard like C9 fans, they would not watch, like, other people are not watching C9 like in the Saudi event. I'm sorry.
I actually agree with
This
what
is just the
Kerman is
first
saying.
part.
Like, it needed to be one league with two conferences. You didn't need to change the name to LTA. Just let there be an LCS and let there be a CBLOL, and together we're part of the greater LTA. Like, not LTA. We're together. Yeah, together we're part of the greater LTA. That's okay. You don't have to have everything like, I don't know, man. It's so corporate. The other thing that comes out is like the idea like, oh, we know so much better than the fans. The fans don't understand us. Like, we're not gonna, like, we're listening to you guys, but you just don't know. Like, that is not what we, if we don't know, then come talk to us. Don't just be like, well, there's more to it than sees the eye. Well, then tell me more. It's just like, I don't know. That kind of bothered me, to be honest.
Like, they're not building something that the fans enjoy though, and that was like what he said in the article.
Yeah, as if
Like,
you know what we enjoy. Like, come on, man.
like it wasn't working when it was the LCS. So what makes you think a rebrand with, you're doing less now than you was before? So how do you know what the fans need? You've taken away roadshows. There's no like events for fans. Like, very little tailgates. There used to be one every fucking week. Like, pretty much. It felt like they came in with an unprepared budget to have actual cross-conference play the entire year. Because what is the point in it?
I don't know, man.
Because
I'm so done with this. Like,
because how does the LTA South actually improve if they can't play us?
which is why they have a guaranteed spot because they're not going to improve enough. That's literally what they said.
And that is going against competitive integrity. You're actually actively giving a worse like league a spot because they aren't good enough to take it from one of our teams. Which,
Oh, did you see David? Like, dude, I'm sorry to cut you off. I completely forgot about this. This was like one of the stupidest things I've seen. David has consistently been the person, like, out of all the people in New York, he has been the one to like fight to try to bring more eyes to League of Legends like watch parties. I've been to some of the watch parties, like two, no one. I've been to one of the watch parties, and the fact that they have the audacity to do something and not even like bother mentioning him, it's like, why do we even, it's just so like frustrating. Can we not all be on one side, work together to do something? Why do you have to just like do things your own way because you know better, and then it's like screwing with everybody else? Like, please just work with us here. We want a better product. And the fact that like the people that are actually working on it, you're just like, oh, we know better. We're gonna keep this hidden. Why did you wait until now? Why did you wait until 2 weeks or a week before finals to let us know? Why couldn't you announce this earlier? You were working on it? well, don't you think you could have told David, hey, like, we're actually thinking of this. Would you be open to like the idea? Maybe David's like, hey, it's too late. Maybe in New York, don't hold it in the theater. Hold it over here. Like, just it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I felt so bad when I saw his post. I was just like, man, I would be so pissed if I were you. Like, I would be so pissed.
It's rough, man.
Yeah, it
Like,
really is. Like, it's just ridiculous. It just makes you feel like,
what
why
I
am I
would have done.
working all this effort if you're gonna screw me? Like, why can't we work together? You were built based on huge people playing your game. The fact that I'm a Cutie Pie and Double Lift and Beardson, they were all streaming your game. You had people like Night Blue. Everybody was like working together to make this League of Legends a game that everybody's gonna play. And now it's like, oh, we're gonna do things and we're gonna tell you why it's right. Like, come on, man.
I would have maybe like I haven't thought this through, but what I would have done, and actually thinking about this, it probably just kills Brazil entirely. I'll just make it one giant league, like bung every team together, LPL style. You have 20 teams,
You
well,
can't do that. You
16
can't do
teams,
that.
and
That's messed up.
yeah. But you would actually get improvement out of these teams because I don't. That there are like, the ideas for these Brazilian teams aren't bad. They're just not great teams. They're just like they're not top four material from NA.
But here's my question: who cares about having a competitive league if no one's watching it? I know everyone's like, well, if we have a competitive league, then people are gonna watch it. That's not true. So it's like Brazil has the viewership. Don't mess that up, and you manage to somehow mess it up. So I don't even know. Like even there,
Well,
yeah.
to be fair, the in the article it does state that the LTA South is actually improving like viewership wise again,
The
and I
what?
think that's because in solid that the viewership numbers are actually better recently than what the CBLOL was doing in 2024. But I think that's more in solidarity with some of our teams got screwed. Like we're gonna really support this region now.
Maybe. I mean, there was like 40,000 people watching Seiyus on Bayano's stream when we played against Team Liquid. Like, I don't know if wait, let me check if uh esports charge is
I know
updated.
when David
They
checked
weren't.
yesterday,
I
they
checked
wasn't updated.
yesterday morning. They weren't. I don't know. Oh yeah, he checked on his podcast and they weren't updated, which is stupid. You'd think at some point. Games, League of Legends. Where's LTA? Why do I struggle every single time to find ongoing? I always find the LEC first, and then I can't find. It takes forever to load too. LTA South, LDL, LPL, Odyssey Cup Mexico. Why is that above LTA? It's loading. I'll let you know when if I find it.
Well,
But
I'm
yeah,
gonna while you're doing that, comment on. Actually, I'll let you. Now that it's up.
no, it's still loading.
Uh,
Yeah, it's taking forever.
they're lying again. Like I've read this before, but like, so it's saying like Atuna's noted that phases of the rebrand may have leaned too hard into cross America's rivalries and feedback from Split One. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
You did a single bracket. You did a single elimination bracket, which means that it completely killed these Brazilian teams. And then you didn't actively choose, like you didn't listen to feedback and decide that we're not going to have like conference for Split 2. That was always the plan.
Yeah. Okay. C9 versus FlyQuest was number one. 146,000 peak. I can't see concurrent and like all that data because it's asking me to log in, but I can just see the peak, which doesn't. I mean, peak is good, but I would like to see the average. Oh, the average was 75K, but I don't know that's
The only
over
caveat I'm
what.
gonna give to it though is like you had Cadril co-streaming that
Oh, Pedro
series.
co-streamed your series?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. We are at 143,000, which is like not too far off. but we did have 40,000 people just from Brazil watching us because of Seus. So, I mean, you probably had like another 50 from Cadril, so it's probably about the same. I mean, that's
Yeah.
good. Those are good numbers with or without co-streams. Yeah, it's not like old school numbers, but it's good numbers.
I mean, it's better, but it's like the average has not been great.
I mean, in the landscape that we live in, like, what more do you expect, right? This is where we're at right now, so I'll take it.
And like the Shopify ones were Teos and your owner deciding he's finally going to watch his team.
Ludwig has
I
watched
was
us
so angry
more
about it.
consistently. Yeah.
Right,
Right.
okay, but if you remember, I said at the very start of the season when we had David on, and I said I bet this guy only shows up when Shopify actually are decent and
That's
like
actually not
right on
true,
cue.
though.
Yeah, but right on. Okay, he watched you like once or twice when you
He
were
watched us versus
terrible.
DSG, bro. He watched us versus 100 Thieves as well. Like, people.
Okay, and
Sure, you're right.
half of these series he was turning off because he couldn't handle after like the game one stomp. He's like, I'm watching this chat, and then as soon as like you are now pretty good team, he's been there for everyone. You've done videos, which is good. But I called this out that this guy needs to be doing it consistently because I think that builds up your brand 10 times more than what we've seen out of him. I think it's good now. Don't get me wrong. But I called that he would show up harder once you actually started winning, and I didn't predict that it'd be this season because I didn't think you'd be half decent team.
Of course you
But
didn't.
anyways, we'll get back to the article.
I mean, honestly, I'm done with the article. If there's something else you want to point out, I'm done with them in general. Like,
Well, I'll ask you, what are the pivots that Riot need to do from 2026?
market your game more, like market your league more. What, I don't know how else I can say it. Just,
Go to LCS again?
I would love for them to go to LCS, but I'd also love for them to like have more when it comes to the, like, here's the thing. I think they make good content, but I've lost hope in Riot Games and their content because they keep slashing budgets. And I know this because the content team has been doing less and less and trying to do with whatever they can. So, like, you're in a situation where you're like, put more money towards marketing. And then when you do put more money towards marketing, God knows where it goes. Like, I have not seen a single advertisement on my TikTok for like for the league, for teams. Like, you switched to LTA, you could have done like a whole TikTok campaign over 3 weeks to show videos of like LCS and how it's going to change to greatness, the new logo, the new format, explainers. You could have done so much, and they're not doing it.
I guess they
So
needed to because the Google algorithm for LTA is completely fucked. Like you can't search LTA on Google, at least, and it like come up like properly. Um, it worries me for next year because I know like less is going to occur in
I don't
terms of
know.
like marketing.
I don't know.
They've dug themselves in a hole in the sense that you can't just now separate the LCS and CBLOL with like international slots really because you're under one region.
Uh huh.
The like the only argument you can make is that they're separate leagues, if that makes sense. So like they are one region, but they're two leagues. So like in some ways it does justify like international slots.
Sure. I like, to answer your question, I really don't know. Like, I do not pity the job of the person it is to like figure out what campaign, what project are we doing for a league next year. Like, I don't know. I think you have to get more involved with your co-streamers. Like, if I was Riot Games, I would have like people co-streaming together, like when you bring in LS, I would have like highlights of the co-streams. I don't know. I would legitimately need to do like a study on this. On like what can we do to save this team? There's so much to do.
There is so much to do. I think like if I was doing like the immediate changes, you obviously you rebrand the LCS.
I would do that. Yeah, yeah. That would be first. I agree.
You also have to, for me, fix the formats so that we can go online and maintain the number of stage games we have. So, like you're increasing the amount of like, games while retaining your stage. You also need to have a different setup for LTA and VCT. I can't be having the exact same layout. Like, it doesn't feel nice to me. Like, LCS needs like its own identity when it comes to like stage layout. It's probably one of the like the least important things, but like for me, it matters. I'd revamp how they do their marketing, starting with short form. Like you said, people should know when they're playing. There should be pop-ups everywhere that these two teams are playing. As for the broadcast, I agree with you in the sense like, even though I'm not a fan of LS, it feels like people like when you bring in someone like that, at least gives the impression that creators want to be here, right? Like they care
Yeah.
about this league. It gives it that feel again. And it doesn't feel uh like a homemade project in some ways.
I think I would do a heavy dose of like creator, like bringing in creators and having them do stuff. I do think at this point you kind of need their help just because you kind of screwed yourself with a lot of stuff. Like what they were doing with trying to get streamers and like hosting right after the games. Like I like that idea. I think they should figure out ways of doing more of that kind of stuff. But it's just it's a lot, man. There's a lot that they need to do. I'll be honest.
Yeah. And then the like one of the things that I think they need to do is start formalizing watch party requirements like they do in
Ooh, I like
VCT.
that.
Because in VCT, I don't know if they do like 2025, but I knew in previous years there was requirements on the teams, or at least what I like. Anyways, um, like I knew that there was certain like requirements on what they needed to do, and like in the past like 2 years, CNN has done a lot of watch parties for their Valorant team with UCI. I don't know what college that is. I'm not familiar with like schools in the States. Don't know if you'll be able to tell me or someone in the chat will be able to tell me what UCI is.
UCI, I don't know actually.
Um, and like this is just an estimated guess, but I reckon that where like in VCT you have to do like these like watch parties and stuff like that. I reckon a lot of the requirements for LTA teams would be tailgates and like you putting on something for these tailgates. But I would much rather see like fuck the LA crowd. I'm sorry. Like it reminded me of like sort of like Arsh's tweet reminded me of when like people were really picked on for trying to be fans and like trying to be a bit louder and like people were being told to like quieten down. And I've had even like people in the C9 Discord were saying when they were there and they were trying to cheer their team, you were getting death stares from people like it was a library or something.
Really?
Yeah, like it's wild, man. Like there's obviously just a new culture there that you can't be loud. It's like it's and you can feel that in these games. Like you had Cena and Fly, one of the best series you've had in NA in a long time. Fucking crickets.
Yeah.
And like people saying, oh, like there was a lot of FlyQuest fans. I didn't hear them cheering for FlyQuest. I'm not being funny. Like, okay, even if like they shouldn't have more fans to C9, it's well, one team has to have fans cheering.
Yeah,
Like,
someone does.
so okay, if C9 don't have fans there, where's the FlyQuest fans cheering? Like, so what we got? So like I would stop. Yeah, I'll take it away from the tailgates and really get teams to actually try and go up and down the country with watch buys. Casino does a lot of ones with UCI.
I would be down honestly if each team like picked a place and decided to do watch parties there, like have like a New York team that.
It's the University of California,
Uh,
Irvine.
Let me check. It's saying that the audio died on YouTube. It seems to me it's still going through. Wait, let me test 1 2 3.
No, it's just him.
Yeah,
It's just him.
I think it might be just you. Oh, headset died. Okay. All right, you want to get into the last topic?
Well, kind of just had like we can talk about whatever, but there was an NA player that did win a title this week.
He did, despite Cloud9 kicking him off. Cloud9 aren't gonna make it, and he is. How does that make you feel?
I mean,
I'm sorry. I okay. Well, enough with the banter. But you've been hate watching JoJo a lot. How do you feel now?
you're really gonna put me in the hate watching thing?
You said you were hate watching.
I think all parties got what they wanted now. Like, I mean, like, no, what I mean, they're happy. Like, as a fan, I'm happy at what I have. He's clearly doing well over there. Like, I've nothing against him as a person. I just didn't work out for us, and like, you move on. Like, I'm unhappy with how it worked. Like, and like obviously that you've heard on like Hotline League, CNN apparently did him dirty, but I think it's all about perspective, isn't it? And like people who are close on the JoJo side are gonna hear what they want to hear, and like people on the C9 side will hear what they want to hear. And what I've always been like consistent with is that truth is in the middle. I think both sides had problems in this, and I don't think it's like one or the other. And like, okay, like I joke around with like hate watching, but I'm not NA. Like I'm not American. I don't have to go and cheer him. So like I've had with people say, oh, yeah, but he's from the region. It's like I care about like these teams putting together the best rosters they can. I've always been like quite consistent in terms of like developing NA players, but you also if you pluck the best talent from elsewhere, I've never had a problem with that because that's what happens in soccer. Like your American team right now, for example, a lot of them play in Europe. It's not like these players are playing in the MLS. They're all playing abroad because that's where the best league is. It's the same with like JoJo. Okay, maybe LEC is not better than LCS, but you know what I mean. Like these players are developing elsewhere, and obviously, Koi fans are not going to be unhappy that they have an NA player representing their team rather than like a Spanish, for example, because he's living up to what he should be, and that's winning.
Yeah, I think you're happy if you're a Spanish fan, right? A Koi fan. You're like, well, this guy came, he elevated the team. He had a little bit of some hiccups, but then he came and he won the title for us. Like, what more do you want?
Yeah, and like I have no ill will. Like I'm not that person. Like just didn't work out, and like, and I'm bored of the the conversations and like the petty comments from people about like the whole scene on JoJo thing. Like, just let the kid win, because at the end of the day, like, we shouldn't keep bringing it up. Like, obviously it does. Okay, it's going to be such a banter week for us if we lose to Shopify.
Oh
You
my
win the
god.
split, so then in the space of a week, you have Fudge winning and JoJo winning. That is a scary timeline.
That would
I
be
didn't. I
so over for you
completely
guys.
be over for me, because I've actively said, like, I am happy that they're both not playing for us anymore. It would be over for me, yeah. Like,
It would be
you
so
and
over
David
for
will
you.
never allow me to put that down.
Never. That's hilarious. That would be just thinking of that prospect. Oh my god. That would be
I say
hilarious.
it's a real possibility.
It is?
I don't.
Dude, Fudge
I
winning?
don't
Oh
think
my
he beats
god.
like.
What?
Yeah. The thing is, like, with Fudge, is my thing was always he's annoying rather than like with JoJo, where it's like, I'm mentally checked out with you, get out.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like there was a different level of or different type of frustration, different type of like need.
It takes a lot for me to, before the season's even over, to want a player off the team, like off the
Mhm.
org. It takes a lot for me. And like Fudge, I held on way too long. After 2023, should have cut ties for me. But we have a history of keeping players, like, in some instances, like, way past their expiration date.
Really? Like who?
A lot of
Besides
people,
Fudge.
like, I know we're Blabber fans. A lot of people do not think he's it, despite his continued, like,
Yeah, a lot of
he's been
people
a
are
top two
wrong.
jungler.
Like
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Blabber is, who do you replace him with?
literally
Like,
no one.
find me a jungler. I wouldn't replace, like, I know your contract stan. I wouldn't replace him with him. Replace him with River. None of the TL people. Who in the league are you replacing him with?
I wouldn't.
There's no one from EU. There's no one from EU where I'm like, yeah, this
I
guy.
wouldn't take Raz. I mean, they were talking about what's his name, like Tarzan. Like, sure, I'd replace him with Tarzan, but even then, I wouldn't. Just out of like principle.
No, but like the thing is, and like, okay, inspired, yes. Like, you can see a world where, okay, he elevates us, but like any of the EU junglers, like, there's not the world of difference. Like, for me, it needs to be a tangible upgrade where there's a world of difference, because you're taking up an import slot. And Blabber's been consistently top two every year. Like, there was a bit of a fall off last split, but no, sorry, 2024. But like, for most of his career, he's just absolutely ran the league.
I agree with you.
It gets wonky even like in other areas. Like, who who would you even replace like Vulcan with?
Vulcan. I don't know. It's just hard. It's just hard.
Maybe call me crazy. Say like we finish around like third again, like next split.
Uh-huh.
Providing he's not mentally checked out on like his career,
Or today.
I think Core and Blabber would fucking slap.
I think so
Like,
too.
so like Core's like strength is like that mid to late game, and like Blabber's the early game. You get that like combination of like Blabber covers Core's like stuff, and then Core can take Blabber's stuff to the next level as well. I think that would slap.
I think so too. I think that could be a very,
Do you
very
think
scary
Yon
team.
stays on TL?
He signed to the end of 2027 now.
It'd be harder to get him out because I know a lot. I know like, even though Sven's doing great, I know some C9 fans were saying, "Would you try and like
No, no,
try and get Yon out of TL?"
no. You don't. Oh, like for Jan's sake or for C9's sake?
I mean, for like 2026, do you like keep Sven on, or do you try and get Yon away from TL and like playing for him?
I don't know. That's a hard question. I mean, I can see why you would want that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Uh, I would want it because I don't think Sven can go up a level like internationally. Whereas I think Yon has that agency to grow.
Interesting.
I don't like. I mean, like Sven's a very good player for the like domestic. I like if we go internationally, I am fucking worried. By the way, like against these Eastern teams, I imagine Sven against some of these fucking bottom laners. Jesus Christ.
Oh, you're more worried than I am. I'm not that worried for you guys. I think you guys will be fine. I think he has like the experience to like not get destroyed.
I mean, no,
Whereas,
against EU teams. I mean, like we were struggling even when he was like. I'm not saying he's past his prime, but like he just missed a consistent now, and he's not.
but that's what you
He's not
need
the
on this
hard
team.
character.
That's why I think he's good. I don't think having Jan and Blabber like that sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, man.
Well, that's like the conversation of can you upgrade in jungle?
Okay, Jan and Tarzan, sure, but I don't think Tarzan's coming back. He just made finals again. Like, is it 3 splits in a row? No, two
Oh
splits in
no.
a row now. Like, yeah.
And like the problem with importing Eastern junglers is it's so much harder to get a cohesive like plan.
Tarzan is one of the best junglers you'll ever import. He went to China. He
No,
spoke no
no.
Chinese. Like
I'm not
came
talking
out
about. I'm not
speaking.
talking about. Not talking about Tarzan. I'm talking about like genuinely. It's a lot harder to implement a non-English speaking jungler into like an English speaking team.
I agree. I just think Tarzan's like one of the few exceptions, which makes sense why C9 were
We were
looking
never
at it.
getting Tarzan. We're never getting Tarzan.
Ah, they were looking at it. I mean, you looked at Faker at some point. Sure, yeah, I guess.
I mean, you can look at whoever you want. I can look at Chovy. That doesn't mean we're getting Chovy.
Yeah, I can look at him.
Yeah, exactly. Like you can look, but you can't grab.
You can look, but you can't grab. You want to start our
Yeah,
last?
you can't grab the player.
Oh wait, we talked about JoJo winning. We just like moved on quite quickly.
Yeah,
All right, I think we covered everything.
I think so too.
Any last shout outs you want to do? I know it's you want to talk about the announcement? I don't know if we talked about it on stream or off stream, but do you want to?
I mean, like genuinely, thank you to like everyone who like sent their wishes, but like liking, retweeting, commenting. Like, I genuinely do appreciate like, any of the love.
Okay, so do you remember the fact that you actually like messaged me on Twitch and told me that you'd be willing to help me on David's stream?
I maybe I vividly remember.
Vividly? Wow. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Because you never responded. I was like, okay, like, what do you think? I asked for your advice, and then you like didn't respond. I was like, oh, so it's the thought that matters. But yeah, it was great journey, like having you in the scene. I'm glad that I got to meet you and we have this podcast and whatnot, and looking forward to doing more.
Yeah,
Very
dude,
soon.
I may be done in terms of like a journalistic point of view, like that part of my life is done. But now I get to have fun. Like I now actually get to properly banter with David
Now
without
you're
any like
unleashed.
yeah. Like I haven't decided. Well, I know I said like content creation. I haven't mapped that out yet. Like I'm still figuring things out, but
Uh huh.
I do think it's time to go.
I mean, it's also a door that'll always be open for you. So don't you see
Oh
an
yeah,
opportunity,
it'll
come
always
back.
be now like a side hustle.
Yeah. All right. It was a nice episode, nice conversation to like. I think it was given a nice little farewell to your career, and you know,
Farewell
don't forget us
episode.
when you become famous in whatever your next endeavor is.
Oh man, if only.
If only. All right. Thank you everybody for watching. It was a fun episode. I know we had a lot of banter going back and forth. I think we talked about just our match for like 50 minutes because obviously, what else are we going to talk about? But I'm excited for next matchup.
I mean,
I might try to live
we
feed it as
deserved
well.
it. Like we deserved it because we've like I was saying for a long time, we'd only had one best of one the entire season.
I know. And now it's an elimination. Winner gets to finals. Winner goes to EWC. Winner gets a chance to go to MSI. It's like such high pressure, man. Or like high stakes. Sorry, not high pressure. It's high pressure for you
Yeah,
guys, not for
definitely.
us. So, point to us. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and yeah, we'll see you next week. One of us is gonna be crying, so